Saturday people, how are you all doing? And welcome back to another match reaction. It finished at the Valley today. Charlton Athletic 0, Peterborough United 1. A big game at the top of the table, 2nd versus 6th. The Addicts obviously in great form, 10 unbeaten going into this match, but unfortunately it wasn't to be for us as we suffered our first defeat in 11. That unbeaten run has come to an end as a result of Johnson Clark-Harris's first half strike. A hard result to take today for the Addicts, but ultimately another slow start and a lack of end product is what's cost us today, and it's frustrating, it's disappointing, and these next 4 games, you know, they're going to be tough. Without any further hesitation, let's get straight into this match reaction, guys. Starting off with, as ever, the 2 lineups. Starting off with the home side, Charlton Athletic. Nigel Adkins named only 1 change to the squad that beat Plymouth Argyle emphatically by 6 goals to 0, and that was the reintroduction of Ryan Inniss. He came back into the side in place of Akin Famewo. Now, you know, usually people say never change a winning side. Decided to make the change and bring Inniss into the back line. Now, of course, Inniss has been superb this season, a man mountain in the defensive line. We haven't lost a league game with him in the squad. Unfortunately, that run came to an end today, but it was a risk to bring Inniss into the side. You know, as I say, never change a winning side. And Famewo did very well in the match in midweek against Argyle. But I had no complaints about the lineup whatsoever. I didn't have a problem with Inniss coming back into the side. You know, the team was basically the same, bar that change. And Inniss is a quality player in the defensive line, so I had no concerns with the lineup whatsoever. And as for Darren Ferguson's Peterborough, they went with Bursic in goal, a back 4 of Nathan Thompson, Frankie Kent, Beavers and Butler, Ethan Hamilton, Jack Taylor in the middle, with Ward, Sammy Smodics and Siriki Dembele playing in behind their top scorer, Johnson Clark-Harris. Now, they certainly have a lot of players that I was keeping an eye on. You know, Clark-Harris, their top scorer at the moment, he's been absolutely flying this season. Sammy Smodics, who got both of Peterborough's goals in the reverse fixture, so we were definitely going to keep an eye on him. And also Siriki Dembele, who's had a lot of championship interest throughout this season, and most definitely will be playing in the championship now with Peterborough. You know, will basically clench their promotion very, very soon. So they definitely had their threatening players, and this was going to be a very difficult game. Going into the game, as I alluded to at the start of the video, like the Plymouth Argyle game, it was quite a slow start again. You know, it did take us a bit of time to grow into the game, and unfortunately us starting slow and taking too long to grow into the game did cost us, as Posh did get the only goal of the game, in fact, in the opening 10 minutes, in fact the 9th minute of the game. Long ball out from the back. It was flicked on by somebody. I actually think it was flicked on by Jason Pearce. Pearce went up for the header and he's ended up flicking it backwards. I think it come off him. I don't know if it come off the Peterborough man or not. It was either him or Pearce. But anyway, the ball flicked back on. It went to Smodics, I think it was. And then Smodics played through Johnson Clark-Harris. And he had a shot from outside the box. Once again, another goal from outside the bloody box at home. Seriously. But Clark-Harris hits it on the left foot from, I think it was just inside the D, edge of the box. And it finds its way into the bottom corner. We keep saying it on the channel, you know, it's like a broken record. We keep saying it all the time, but it is a joke, you know, the amount of goals that we've conceded from outside the box this year. Once again today against Posh, we started slow, and that is ultimately what cost us, as Clark-Harris's goal was, of course, the only goal of the game. We did eventually grow into the game. We didn't have that many opportunities, and being honest with you, I don't even call we had that many. I know Peterborough had more shots than us, but we did dominate possession, not just in the first half, but throughout the game. But I didn't think we moved the ball quick enough. We just weren't getting chances fast enough. Obviously, as we know, Diallang Jaiyesimi did come off in the first half. He was replaced by Albie Morgan. He took a bit of a whack after a coming together from between him and a Peterborough man, and Adkins took no risks whatsoever, and without even hesitation just brought DJ straight off. Albie Morgan took his place and he played the rest of the game out on the right, and hopefully Jaiyesimi's injury is nothing too serious, as obviously he has been playing quite well recently under Adkins. We just weren't moving the ball quick enough, lacked a bit of pace, lacked a bit of, you know, like flair going forward, a bit of urgency. We lacked that going forward. Sometimes our first touch was quite poor, and we did find it quite easy. And we found ourselves in situations where Peterborough were putting too much pressure on us far too easily, you know. So many times where we just kicking it round the back and playing risky balls, and Peterborough were just constantly hammering us and coming on the pressure. You know, the likes of Dembele, Smodics, Ward, who was a massive threat throughout the game as well, and then of course Clark-Harris. The biggest talking point of that first half was of course our penalty and the resulting miss of that penalty. Now, I've seen the penalty a couple of times over. I know that the Charlton punditry were quite were quite quick to say that it was a stonewall penalty. But if I'm honest, I don't even after seeing it back, I don't even know, because, you know, as we know, the ball got played through. Alex Gilbey's come steaming through. I think it was Beavers or Kent, I'm not entirely sure, but he gets across his man, goes down, ref gives a penalty. Jayden Stockley, the headmaster, stepped up to take the penalty, and if I'm being totally honest with you, I was sat there in my living room watching it, and as Stockley, you know, stepped back to take the penalty, the camera's looking at his face, instantly in my mind I was thinking, he's scored 6 goals for us this season, and all of them have been with his head. You know, he hasn't scored with his feet yet. Long behold, Stockley steps up and has his penalty kick saved by Joseph Bursic. It was pretty much the same penalty that Ronnie Schwartz took against Oxford away earlier on in March. It was the exact same situation, really, you know. Struck the penalty really well. Stockley hit it with a lot of power. Some have said that it was the right height for the keeper, but even so, he still struck it well. But it was just an equally good save, or a great save, in fact, from Bursic. Very similar to Ronnie Schwartz's penalty. Definitely our best chance of the game, and as I say, I had very little confidence in Jayden Stockley taking the penalty, you know, as he scored goals only with his head. You know, I'd much rather have given it to Jake Forster-Caskey or someone like that. Second half, we have to say we were, I personally think we were the better side in the second half. I think we were the better side, completely dominated possession. I think we finished on like 63% possession or something like that. We were creating those chances and we were coming forward and trying to get things going, but ultimately, as I said at the start of the video, it was the end product that really let us down today. And in particular, I'm pinning it on Liam Millar again. He is a player that does frustrate me, you know, because, you know, I know he's a young player and he's got a lot to learn, but I've said so many times that he is a very predictable player. You know, he loves to cut back on that right foot and get crosses into the box or have a shot or whatever. And Peterborough took advantage of that today and forced him onto that left foot, which, let's be honest, ain't great, is it? His left foot is not great. Millar was the main focal point of our attacks, you know. He was the main catalyst of our chances that we were trying to create in that second half. But it was just so annoying because countless amount of times would it just go through him and nothing would end up coming of it. You know, he'd like dart forward on that left-hand side, do really well to beat his man, cross it into the box, and so many times would it just not reach anyone. It was just so frustrating because our end product really cost us today, and I was getting so agitated watching it on the TV, seriously. The amount of times that we crossed the ball into the box and we just could not find a red shirt was just ridiculous. And I remember in the first half, like, we had about 4 crosses on the right-hand side, you know, Albie Morgan and Adam Matthews' side. Every single cross went straight over, right towards the back post, and would just lead to nothing. In the second half, it was so annoying because we were just resorting to that throughout the entire half, just getting it down that left-hand side or the right side, whoever it is, and we just cross it in the box, and it would either be headed away at the front post, no one would get to it, and it would be cleared, or we'd cut inside and have a shot, or it would take a deflection, or it would be blocked. You know, it was just so annoying that we just couldn't find anything. But yeah, that was just the story of our afternoon, really. We had chances, we played really well, and I think we played well in that second half and were the better side. If the likes of Liam Millar really had end products and they were putting the chances away, we would have been completely out of sight. Then again, you do have to say that, you know, Peterborough did have their chances to, again, like, because we didn't score, they had their chances to make it like 4 or 5-0. Sammy Smodics, he was a threat in the reverse fixture. He could have had a hat-trick, you know, if he'd have put his chances away. So many times would he just run through after Peterborough's long balls, so they would play the ball forward, and he would just fluff his lines. I remember one in particular when Sariki Dembele played some ridiculous reverse pass. It was absolutely outrageous. Played through Smodics, who was completely open at the back post, and he's had a shot, and he just fired straight over the bar. And I think on one occasion he actually got put through one-on-one effectively in stoppage time, and he hit the post. You know, could really have put the game to bed there and then. You know, it was end-to-end, that second half, in that respect, especially towards the end. But I think that for the majority of that second half, we did control the tempo of the game. You know, we were having those chances constantly, but ultimately it just didn't work for us in the end, and that is how the game ended. Charlton Athletic 0, Peterborough United 1. A very frustrating afternoon in SE7. Once again, that's been the story of our season, basically, at the Valley this year. You know, just very underwhelming results. It is annoying on our part because I do believe that we performed well enough to justify us getting a point. As we can see by the league table, we are back down to 8th place. Oxford and Portsmouth both won today, I believe. Blackpool did drop points once again. Shrewsbury managed to get a win by a goal to 0. So Blackpool are starting to slip up a bit. But yeah, we'll talk briefly about the rest of the table now, the rest of League One. Obviously, we did hear the news today. Hull City have confirmed their immediate promotion to the Championship, so congratulations to Hull on that. Well done. I'm pretty certain that they're going to win the league as well. They've been absolutely superb this season. As I touched upon, Peterborough have effectively gone up. You know, they are I think it is Lincoln are 10 points behind them, but they've got 2 games in hand. So mathematically, Lincoln can still get top 2, but if Peterborough are to win their next game, or I think even get a point, then they are promotion secured. So effectively, they have got promoted. At the other end of the table, Swindon Town and Bristol Rovers have been relegated officially, so commiserations to those sides. Swindon have been relegated at the first time of asking, and Bristol Rovers have just had an absolute nightmare of a season. And Wycombe Wanderers in the Championship have effectively gone down as well, so that's another team that we could well be playing next season. They are, I think they're 6 points from safety with 6 points up for grabs, and there's like an 11-goal deficit that they have to make up within the next 2 games, so in effect they are down. And then in League 2, Cheltenham and Cambridge are effectively up as well, and Bolton are nearly there as well, not too far behind. So it does look like those 3 are going to get automatic promotion. So that's Wycombe, Cheltenham, Cambridge and Bolton that we could be playing next season. We are playing on Tuesday against Crewe Alexandra, and if we are to win that, we jump Oxford, Portsmouth and Blackpool into 5th. So it is a massive game on Tuesday. You know, it's a must-win. It's a must-win. We've got to win the game. It's as simple as that. And the next game after that against Accrington Stanley, realistically, we need to be beating these sides and need to get results off both of them. But if you were to judge the league table based purely off home games, we're 19th, 3 points off bottom. You know, that's how bad we've been at home. And we've got 4 games left, 2 games in hand on most of our rivals at the top end of the table. 3 of those 4 games are at the Valley, and 2 of them are against Hull and Lincoln. So it is a concern, and I feel like that I am right to be concerned, because at home we have been shocking this season. We have been diabolical at home. We've dropped so many points at home this season, and right now, when it really matters, we need to start getting results at the Valley. You know, against Peterborough today, we should have come away with at least a point. I am worried about our home form, and I am worried that it is going to cost us. Top 2 is now mathematically impossible for us now, so it is literally playoffs or bust. We win on Tuesday against Crewe, which is a game that we have to win. We jump to 5th place with that victory. That's obviously as it stands if we are to win that game, but you know, it's going to be tough. It really is going to be tough, you know, and I am worried with our home form. Frustrating afternoon once again at the Valley for Nigel Adkins' Addicts. The first defeat with Ryan Inniss in the starting 11 and the first defeat under Nigel Adkins. But it ain't the end of the world, you know. We can still do this. We can still get playoffs. We just need to sort our home form out. We just need to sort it out. It's in our hands now. It is in our hands. We can do this. That is it for this match reaction, guys. I hope you guys did enjoy it. If you did, can you possibly leave a like, subscribe if you're new around here, and turn on those post notifications so you're notified of when I post. Thank you so much for 2,900 subscribers. That is greatly appreciated. We are now on the home stretch to 3,000 subscribers. What do you guys think of the game? Let me know in the comments below. Do you guys think that we're going to get top 6? Let me know in the comments below. This has been Tyler Rolinson. Have a nice day, and I'll see you all on Tuesday of the CAFC derby against Crewe Alexandra. Take it easy, stay safe, and I'll see you all then.